This is CNN.
Welcome everyone to the 2016 presidential debate. I am your host, Dan Valco, here with your final three candidates, Karl Marx, Jane Jacobs, and Mary Wollstonecraft. First, let's start with our opening statements from our candidates. Let's start with you, Karl.
Hello everyone, my name is Karl Marx. I'm a German philosopher, economist, socialist, and journalist. I was born in Prussia, but I spent a majority of my life in London. My work in economics laid the basis for much of the current understanding of labor and its relation to capital and the subsequent economic thought. I have written numerous books because everyone knows I'm so smart. And my most famous book, as you may know, is Communist Manifesto. Karl Marx 2016, everybody.
Hello everybody, my name is Jane Jacobs. I am a journalist, author, and activist. I specialize in urban studies. You may be familiar with my book that I've written called The Death and Life of Great American Cities, which will give people an understanding that urban renewal does not respect the needs of most city dwellers. And I'm a little confused as to why we're even having this debate, because I'm gonna win by it's gonna be a clean sweep. These two have no idea what they're talking about. This is pointless to be here right now. I'm sorry, I just had to tell you how I feel right off the bat.
You should all know who I am by now. That's right, I'm Mary Wollstonecraft. I'm from London and I spent my whole life there. I'm a writer, philosopher, and I go ham on women's rights. I'm most famous for my book, Vindication of Rights of Women. I have so much talent, I was even passed them down to my famous daughter. I want to show the world that women are just as capable as men are. Men have run this country into the ground, and I'm here to fix it.
We have many issues to address tonight, but first, let's start with some current events. How do each of you plan on fixing the growing economic disparity between the poor, the middle, and the wealthy class? Jane Jacobs, let's start with you.
Well, you know, Dan, I'm really glad you raised that question. I was actually thinking about that earlier. I think how we need to start that is we need to start electing better officials and presidents, like myself, obviously. And what I plan on doing to fix that is I want to create more jobs, and I want to make sure that the wealth of families just increases, and that ultimately starts with creating more jobs for everybody, the middle class, the working class, the low, especially the low class.
You know what? This is all because of men. They've taken all the best jobs, and they're only hiring other men, and they left the scraps for us women. My plan for this is a woman-based economy, where all jobs are vacated by men and taken over by women. All men are going to stay at home, cook, clean, and wait upon us women after we're done fixing this mess that you made of our country.
So what you're saying is you don't want any men to vote for you. You just want women to vote for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's just take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else.
That's basically what you're saying here.
Yeah.
How do you expect to win if you want none of the male votes?
Why do you hate me?
Well, Wollstonecraft, those are some serious accusations against men. And Jane Jacobs, where do you get off?
I think the United States needs to be completely reformed. What we need to do is seize control of all the property from the rich, the middle class, and the poor, put it all together, and equally distribute it amongst everybody, excluding myself. I get a mansion, and so do all my friends.
Whoa, that was borderline treasonous. And on to our next question about immigration. Would you change any U.S. policies regarding immigration? If yes, how so?
Yes, there should be change.
Trump's a racist.
Well, I don't know who said that. Trump hasn't been in the race since last week.
Well, as I was saying, we need to open up our borders so we can diversify the population, because diversity is key. But we should only allow diverse women in. We need to crack down on illegal men and send their sorry asses back home.
Gosh.
No, I'm really glad that I heard that question, because I think immigration is really important, especially in the cities in the country, because when you look around all these cities, it's so diverse, and everybody, like, there's Chinatown and all stuff like that, and you want to see that in your cities. But I really, as I said earlier, I don't think that stuff's the biggest issue. I think that we need to create more jobs. I think there's no reason why people are unemployed. I think we need to get them working, and that's where our biggest issue is.
So we need to reform immigration completely. We, as the United States, cannot allow any immigrants into our nation. Actually, we need to export certain nationalities, because the racial tensions in our nation will cause economic and social issues. We cannot have social economic equality, if people are constantly fighting and protesting all the time. so we need to just get rid of racism completely. However, we will allow tourists to visit our country and help stir up economic benefits.
Moving on. One topic that is being talked about recently a lot is the legalization of marijuana. Many states have legalized it medically and recreationally. How do you stand on this, Karl Marx?
Everyone should be able to smoke pot. If it's illegal, people will still find a way to smoke it. If we legalize it, at least we can collect taxes on it, right? And if one person is able to smoke pot, then so should everybody. If the rich have access to pot, then so should everybody else. Karl Marx 2016.
All right. Well, now that I have my say about this, I kind of somewhat agree with what Marx over there has to say, even though that's like a shocker. I don't usually agree with anything he has to say, but I'm a little curious as to where the tax money is going to go if they legalize. I think he's doing some shady shit, but anyway, moving on. Yeah, I definitely think it should be legalized. I think so. I think we can tax the hell out of it, and I think it'll produce so much economic growth, and it'll only help the country. Not only all that extra money could create jobs, increase pay, maybe the minimum wage could go higher. There's just so much opportunity that could come out of making this legal.
How can you agree with him? He's a man. I certainly don't agree with him. When I was a child, after a night of drinking, my father would come back home drunk, beat me and my mother senseless. Ever since then, I've been opposed to drugs. They are a burden on the state, and they should be banned forever. Think of the children in the world. Do you want all their fathers to come back home high after smoking a blunt and beat them? No, I don't think so. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Wow. That was a bit much, huh?
You have a problem?
A little bit, but we'll talk about that later.
Well, I guess from smoking pot, being an alcoholic, or being beat as a child, I guess we should move into our final arguments.
Well, let me close by saying this. One, this was a joke of a debate. Obviously, I'm going to win. But anyway, because you're clearly not going to vote for someone who's a communist. No true citizen is going to do that, because these aren't citizens if you do that. Another one is, you're not going to get anybody. She's not going to get any men to vote. See, my point exactly. She's not going to get any men to vote for her because she doesn't like men, which makes no sense. So there goes all those votes. So she'll finish last. Her sleeping is completely fine. It's irrelevant. She's an irrelevant candidate. And when I'm president, I'm going to get us out of this rut we're in, and I'm going to fix all the problems and exceed all the promises that these, whatever you would call them, I guess candidates, promised you.
Mary, wake up. It's your turn.
Oh, let's be honest for a moment. Do you want a bunch of hippies running this country? Or do you want me, an experienced and capable leader? If you answered yes to the latter, then vote for me, Mary Wollstonecraft, 2016.
Alright, well, like my good friend Chris Christie said, it's not about me. Take the camera off me. It's about you, the Americans. If you elect me as president, I will do everything in my power to help the people for the people. Equality for all. Karl Marx 2016. And don't forget to buy my book, The Communist Manifesto, in stores now for a small payment of $11.99.
All right, well, we know it's definitely not an $11.99. You're a communist. Add $15 onto that price.
And there you have it, folks. Those are the candidates for the 2016 election. I don't know who you're voting for, but I know I'm not voting this year if these three are the candidates. So pick or choose who you want. I'm out of here. Are we done? All right, thank God, these guys are idiots.
I ain't going out like a sucker, no way.
I'm nice right now.